How many of you have ever done an interview? So I two that I can see.
I have.
Okay.
I have to.
I have done a lot.
Let me tell you what it feels like when it goes badly. And sometimes it can go badly. You are concentrating on the job. You want the job or the scholarship. You go and you sit down. It's kind of a formal situation. You're sitting across the table from someone who is there to interrogate you. Could be more than one, which is even more uncomfortable, 2 or 3. And really, they're looking at you as someone that they're fearing is not suitable for this position. And so they're going to ask you questions. Now, sometimes they're normal and benign questions. But sometimes the questions are probing, and they're not probing to make you look good. They're probing to make you look bad. You made a D on this class, or you made a C on this class in high school. Can you talk about that? They're not saying you made an A in this class. Talk about that usually. Why do you think you are qualified for this position? In other words, what they're saying is, we don't think you're qualified. Make an argument why you are, because we're skeptical. So like much of what we talked about this semester, the reader, which is the interviewer, is skeptical. And sometimes they'll ask questions which are designated to make you feel uncomfortable, to make you feel vulnerable. And sometimes they have interviewers who just do that as a role, or just because they're jerks. And they're there to make you feel uncomfortable. So you're focusing on the job, you're focusing on them, and you feel like you're up against the wall and they're shooting at you. And normally when people are feeling like that, a lot of bad things can happen. You can get defensive. You can get sullen. You can get angry. You can get demoralized. I have a very close friend who they were interviewing, and in the middle of the interview, he said, "I removed my name from consideration," and he leaves. And so you can become paranoid. You can be hurt. You can start to spiral and get emotional and withdraw. You can become like a robot. Yes, yes, I can do that. Yes. And your personality is not coming out. So how do we fix that? Well, we use the techniques that I have trained you this semester, and we apply them in a certain way. So I'm going to share the screen, and I'm going to do a little PowerPoint. You remember at the beginning of the semester, I said there's a triangle of writing. Remember that? That there's a writer, a reader, and a subject. But more importantly than these things are the connectors between them. The writer has a persona that the writer is telegraphing to the reader. The writer has certain expectations as he or she approaches the subject. The reader has an occasion in which they are viewing the subject. Now, I try to help us remember these 6 things by the acronym POWERS. That we have to have these powers to power up our superhero rings, our rhetoric rings. I want to apply this concept to interviewing. Let's call it the triangle of interviews. The applicant is the writer. You're the one conveying information. The interviewers are the readers. They're the ones who are receiving the information that you are conveying. The subject is the job. Now, we still have these connectors. You're still going to be presenting a persona to the interviewers. Your relationship to the job is the job posting. We'll talk about that. And the occasion is you want the job. Now, as I said, most people in an interview situation, when they're feeling tense and they're turning inward and they're getting emotional and they're panicking and they're shutting down, and they're despairing, or they're getting angry and getting aggressive, they're focusing on the interviewers. Now, the background is the job, the subject, but they're focusing on the interviewers. How can they help but focus on the interviewer? Because the interviewer just said, are you sure you're qualified for this? But that is what's causing your stress. That is what's causing you to melt down. So with my system that I've been using to train students, and my wife wants me to write a book and make a lot of money, and I probably will next summer, not this summer. What we're going to focus on is you. We're not going to focus on the interview. We're not going to focus on the job. We're going to focus on you. And that's something that other job interview books don't do. So when you first came in, I said, we're going to focus on the writer. Who's the writer? And your natural response would have been, I'm the writer. But who are you? You remember when we read our book, we found out that Steve, when he's complaining to Zach about the dorm food, he's like, bro, the food sucks, right? But he has a different persona when he's writing to his mom and dad for a care package from home. He doesn't say the food sucks. And when he's writing to his pastor to see if there can be reforms, he doesn't say the food sucks. He uses different language because he is using a different persona, a different aspect of himself. So for this interview training, we are going to focus on the persona. Who are you as you are interviewing? Who are you as you are presenting to the interviewers? And in order to help you cope with the emotions of the interview, we're going to play a little game. How many of you have ever done a role-playing game like D&D, or how many of you have ever acted like in middle school, grade school, high school, church play? Ella, Stephanie, who else? Anyone else? 2 out of 2 in what I can see. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that in the interview, you are taking on an acting role. And the whole interview, you're acting. And you're playing a character. Now, fortunately, it's a character you know very well. The character is you. Ella is going to play a young lady named Ella Gardner. Stephanie is going to play a young lady named Stephanie Clark. And you are playing this role because if someone in the interview says, well, I don't know about that, instead of you reacting and feeling hurt or suspicion or embarrassment or shame, you're playing a character. So there's that emotional distance, that psychological distance. So you could think, okay, that person just criticized Ella. How would Ella respond? Not just any Ella, not just any Stephanie, not just any Bryce, but the best version of Ella. How would the best version of Ella respond? And it gives you a greater deal of flexibility. There's less immediacy if you are hurt or afraid or whatever. So you are role-playing a character named Stephanie Clark. Make sense? And you are going to think about your diamond. Remember that you are a diamond. You may be an introvert, but if the occasion calls for you to be lively and funny, in your life, you have been lively or funny at some point with that special, grade school friend of yours, or when you were at the lake that time. It doesn't matter. You just remember that aspect of you, that facet of you. And if the interviewers want you to be playful, you're just simply gonna gracefully turn and show them the facet of your diamond that they want to see. You're not going to be someone who's not you. You're not going to lie. You're not going to, be something you're not, but you're going to be your best you. And you're going to turn whatever facet that they need to see. And you can do that because you analyze what it is they need to see. And I'll train you how to do that. So you're always going to show them the facet of you they want to see. Just like when we're trying to talk the nun onto riding a mechanical bull. Just like we're trying to get, who was it, to take medical marijuana, whatever it was. We're going to take on that persona, that aspect of us. And we're going to shine. And in thinking about who we are, we're in control of this interview. They may ask us things, but we're in control. And another thing you have to understand about the interviewers is they secretly want you to succeed. They want you to win the gold medal because they want to hire somebody for this position. They want to give this scholarship to somebody. And they have you in the room or they wouldn't even be considering you. So think about it like this. Imagine that you go out to run track one day. And as you're running track, you look up and someone has put this obstacle in front of you. It's right in your way. And your coach is there and says, jump over that. And you're like, well, why do I have to jump over it? You're putting obstacles in my way. They put obstacles in your way so that you can jump over it, shine, and win the gold medal. It's an obstacle course. Does that make sense? They want you to jump over it. Now, they're putting an obstacle there because they want to see how you jump over it. That's what the interviewers are doing. They're asking you questions as obstacles so that they can see you jump over it. They're rooting for you. Imagine they've got pom-poms going, go, 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 jump over obstacle, right? But what we see is they be mean to me. They try to find my weakness. They want to hurt me. Not that way. They want you to win. They're just setting up things so that you can jump over them and show them how awesome you are. So we are going to pick a persona that we know will absolutely nail those interviewers. How do we know? How do we know? I'll show you. A week from today, you're going to have a 3-part assignment. This 3-part assignment is 1, create your resume. We'll talk about that. Most of you already have a resume. Just update it. If it's updated, you've done that part of the assignment. How many of you already have a resume? Ella and Stephanie, and I don't see anyone else because they're the only 2 people visual. Okay. Claire Jordan, boom, boom, boom. Okay, so that part of your assignment is done. You have a week and you've already done that. For the rest of you, it's really important that you have a resume. So we're going to do a resume. Number 2, you're going to find a specific job posting. Now, you may have a job. And for you, this is just an assignment. But some of you need summer jobs. Part-time summer jobs. Some of you may want to apply for UCO scholarships in the fall that require an interview. Great. actually do this assignment to actually help you in your life so that you can win. But even if you have everything you need, let's say you have a job right now, well, why don't you apply for a job just like it? Because who knows, maybe you'll jump jobs and get a better pay raise or better benefits. But in any case, we're all going to pick something that is our mock interview. So find a specific job posting. We'll talk about that in a minute. Then the third part is your analysis and story example sheet. So what you're going to do is a bullet point analysis of the job posting. Meaning, you're going to look at that job posting and you're going to analyze. Do you remember when we analyzed Hitler? Remember when we analyzed Nixon? You're going to use those same skills I trained you. And you're going to analyze that job posting to find the most important qualities the employer is looking for. Remember when we were looking for logical fallacies and I had you rank the most important ones? Analysis is good for all kinds of situations. So here we're going to analyze the most important qualities the employer is looking for. First, we're going to find all the qualities the employer is looking for, and then we're going to classify the most important. Then for each one of those, for each bullet point, you're going to brainstorm on stories or examples from your life of how you embody those qualities. The point is, the interviewers tell you in advance what aspects of your diamond they want to see. They tell you in advance. And most people never look at the job postings and analyze them in the right way to see that they are telegraphing to you in advance who they want you to be. I'm going to train you to analyze the job postings so that you can train in advance before you even come into the interview. And when they ask you a question you've already prepared for, you're just going to shine. You're going to get the job. You're going to get the scholarship. You're going to kick butt. So what's a resume look like? Well, that's kind of the general form that a resume looks like. Your name, street address. This is just one example. I don't care what type of resume structure that you have. That way, if you already have one, you don't have to retool it. Just update it if you need to. Here's another example with real information in it. But what about the job posting? Well, I actually went last night to an Edmond job posting. These are actual jobs that are open right now that you could apply for and get the job. So they are live action. So this is a car dealership looking for a front desk receptionist here in town. Part-time job, $12 an hour. And it says, Callady Kia is looking for a front desk receptionist for Edmond team. We're selling cars, breaking records, even the pandemic. Come join the Callady family, enjoy job security, fun work environment. The ideal candidate must meet the following things. So now we're going to learn to analyze. We read that over, and what most people do is they go, oh, it's a front desk receptionist. Okay, I'll go interview. No, they're not paying attention. We've got to learn to analyze. So the first thing that we're going to look at is front desk receptionist. That's the job. But they're telegraphing to you in advance what they want. You got to understand that employers have taken sometimes weeks to put these things together, to say exactly what they want. I know at universities we do for a professor job. So they are telegraphing to you what they want you to show them back to them. So in this case, what might it be? Punctual, dependable, professional appearance, multi-line phone system experience. They'll probably waive that. So that's what you think. You think, okay, I need a punctual. So your bullet point on your sheet would be punctual, dependable. But there's other things you may overlook. We've got to analyze. Notice they say fun work environment. So they're telling you in advance they want you to be capable of having fun. So people are coming in, they're wanting to buy cars. So you've got to have an atmosphere where this is awesome. And if you overlook that, that could be bad, because in the interview they may say, what would you think a good work environment should be? Dependable. You say, I am Mr. Spock. I am. And they're like, we're done. Because you overlook what they're telegraphing to you. Fun work environment. Make sense? They even use the word enjoy job security. They have this where they want you to have this spirit of enjoyment in the office. So what you would do is on your sheet of paper, you would write down these things as bullet points, and then out after that, you would have a story. Punctual is pretty simple. Just show up to the interview on time. But has there ever been a time you're dependable? I'll tell you what students do. They make the mistake of thinking only in a work environment. You say, have I been dependable in a work environment? Well, this is my first job, you may say. So if they ask you, are you dependable? You say, well, I don't know. I've never worked in an environment. But have you ever been dependable in your life? Are you an older sibling and you had to take care of your little siblings? They were dependent upon you. Have you ever, in any situation, been dependable? So have a story, have an example. So if they say, how's your dependability? You say, well, as a Sunday school teacher for 8-year-olds, ... I'm ready to roll. I got a story. I know in advance they may ask me about dependable, so I got a story. I got an example. In one we're going to see next, it says collaborative. Do you collaborate well? You may say, my only job was in a mailroom and I was by myself sorting packages. So a bad interview would say, well, I don't know. This would be my first time to collaborate. Really? What about in this class when you're in a group and you're reading one another's papers? That's collaboration. Don't get stuck in a box. You're a diamond. Look at some aspect of your life, prepare it in advance, and crap and shine. Let's look at the next one. This one is scheduling surgeries. So you're basically doing secretary duties, scheduling surgeries. And you could read this over and go, okay, that's it. No, but we're going to analyze. You got to be friendly. You got to be courteous, compassionate, professional, have a positive outlook, strong sense of advocacy, collaborative, and do a little extra. And you're going to write these down as bullet points, and then you're going to out to the side have a little story, a little note to yourself. Let's say you're an introvert. Have you ever been friendly? Remember that moment, write down that story. If they want compassion at the beginning of the interview, one of the interviewees says, oh, I'm sorry I'm late, my daughter was sick. Your response is, oh, I'm so sorry, what's wrong with your daughter? Oh, that's horrible. You're going to show compassion because that's one of the things they have said they want from you. They want positive outlook. So if they say, how you doing? Don't just say, I'm okay. Say, I'm doing good today. It's a good day. Have a positive outlook because that's what they want from you. And even if you're Eeyore, oh, don't bother. In your normal life, Eeyore's had a good day at one point in his life. Remember that, and that is the facet you're going to show. Do a little extra. When have you ever done advocacy? When have you been professional? When have you been collaborative? And don't just think about professional situations in the job, because many of you don't have a lot of job experience. Why? Because you're 19 years old. So think about other times you've shown compassion, you've been professional. outside of the work environment, because that is a part of your life. You're going to show them that so that you can shine, so you can get the job. And you're going to use these techniques for the rest of your life, and you're going to get better and better at them, and you're going to win in every way. So, if we take a look at our updated syllabus, I just posted this morning to your D2L. Today, your papers are due. I'm going to start reading those probably today, well, probably tomorrow. And I'm giving you mock interview training. We're not going to have class on Thursday because I want you to have time to do this 3-part assignment. Some of you haven't done your resumes. I want to give you time. But I will be here during our normal class period if you want to pop in and ask questions. You say, Professor Rice, what do you think of this resume form? Professor Rice, I can't find a good job posting. Can you help me? Professor Rice, let's take a look at this job posting I found and let's analyze it together. Professor Rice, you're ugly. Professor Rice, whatever. I'm here for you on Thursday. But this is time for you to do the 3-part assignment. Then on Tuesday is our big day. You will upload the 3-part assignment to D2L, and I'll show you where that is. And that's worth up to 50 points. And on Tuesday, it's really important that you're physically here on the Zoom because that's when we're doing our mock interviews. We'll get in groups of like 3. And Grant will be trying to get the job, and Stephanie and Ella will be the interviewers, and I will train you all how to do interviewing at the beginning. And Grant will try to get the job, and Stephanie and Ella will be the interviewers. And they will do that, and then they'll give Grant feedback on how he can do better, what great job he did in some ways. And then it's Stephanie's turn, and Grant and Ella will, interview her, and then it's Ella's turn. And we'll have the whole hour and 15 minutes to do this. And hopefully, by the end of our class period on Tuesday, we're done with the mock interviews. And we're done with class, really. We're done with the semester. Now, if we need to spill over, we have Thursday, April 29th to do more interviews if we need to. And we have no finals. So that next week is our last hurrah. Now you may say to yourself, where is all this happening? Well, let's go to our D2L homepage. And you will see that I have put in an updated syllabus with this information. I deleted the other one. So you can just look at that and cackle maniacally. And then also on content, click content, and we'll go down to mock interviews. We'll click on that, and there's the assignment. Upload these 3 documents to this D2L slot as one assignment. Your resume, a job or scholarship opportunity posting, and analysis and stories and examples. So the bullet point analysis of the job posting determine the most important qualities the interviewers want from you. And for each bullet point, make notes on a story example from your life to demonstrate your excellence for that quality. Submitting these 3 documents will offer a maximum of 20 points. And being in class and actually participating in the mock interview gives you a possible additional 30 points. That's half a course grade. So if you had an A- coming in right now and you didn't do this, that would drop you to a B. So this is small in points, but it is important to do. Questions or comments about any of that stuff? Let's take a look. All I did is go to Google and type resumes and hit images. And here are 1,000 possible resume types. I'll just click on one randomly. There you go. Ann Smith. It could look like this, groovy. It could look like this, groovy. Could look like this, fancy. Look like this, Nancy. Doesn't matter what the form is. Now you may say to yourself, how do I know how to do a resume in its form, in its raw form? I need training. Well, all you have to do is type resumes on Google, and you can come down, how to write an effective resume. Build a resume in 15 minutes. Some of these you just type in the information and it builds the resume for you. I don't care what your form of your resume is. Have a resume. You're going to be sharing it with the interviewers. And then job postings. I'm going to type in entry level job posting. Boom. And I'm going to click Edmund. So these are actual job postings right now that you could get for a summer job. And I did 2 last night, and those are the ones we looked at. And there's just tons of them here. So entry level, part-time, something for the summer, or full-time for the summer. You could also look up, I haven't done this yet, but let's see how this goes. Let's look up scholarship UCO. Scholarships UCO. Good grief. Incoming freshmen. Well, that would be true for Grant, because aren't you concurrent? But Grant isn't, I don't think it's coming to UCO, but let's just say that, you know, you were coming to UCO. Here are a bunch of scholarships for you. I mean, look at these. There's several of them. But let's say that you are someone tell me your major. Well, here's minority scholarships. If some of us are minorities, Hispanic, UCO Foundation scholarships, that's probably the main place to go. Oh my, look at this. So campus activities, transfer scholarships, math, liberal arts. Let's look at liberal arts scholarships, because that's kind of my field. Good grief. Good grief. You could be getting free money. I'm training you how to do it. Just do it. Make money. And if you feel guilty about the fact that I'm training you how to make money, you can always send me a check for the rest of your life. You know, a small percentage. No one's ever done that yet. So that would be an open area for you to explore. So that is scholarships, job postings, resumes. It's all there for you. Questions or comments? So what I want us to do right now is, since you hadn't expected to think about something to apply for, what I'm going to do is I am going to share the screen so that you can share the screen with one another. I'm going to stop my video, and I'm going to give you guys several minutes just to encourage one another, brainstorm with one another on what job posting you might want to look at. So Ella may say, I have a job. I don't know what to do. And someone may say, well, Ella, what are your hobbies? Is there something you could apply for in a hobby that you have? Is there, is there a scholarship that you could apply for next year to make lots of money? Or at the very least, what's your job now? Do you like it? What would you rather do? Or Even if you like this job, is there another company that does the same thing that you could go there and get a raise and have better working environment? So we're going to brainstorm with one another. We're going to look things up for one another. We're going to look at actual job postings. You can share the screen. And I don't think I'm going to be very useful. So I'm going to click off my video. I'll have my volume on if you shout for me, and I'll come back and check on you. But I just want you to help one another. I think it would be really useful if everybody turned on their video, because Claire, you're a lovely person. Katie, you're gorgeous. Bryce, you're awesome. If everyone could see each other, that would be nice. So turn on your videos if you would, and then also just help one another find good job postings. And if everyone finds a job posting, help one another analyze those job postings. So bring it up and say, what are some things that they're looking for? And you can all do analysis. You can actually help each other almost complete the assignment today, right? Assuming you already have the resume. And you will make those 3 things available. You're uploading for Tuesday: the resume, the job posting, and your bullet point sheet. You're going to have a copy for yourself, but you're going to make them available for your interviewers, because they need to look at those things too as they're interviewing. Do we understand what we're doing, where we're going? Okay, I'm going to click off and help each other find good job or scholarship postings.
Hi, guys.
Hello. While he was talking, I just was like typing in stuff. So I teach at a dance studio right now. And so I was like, I can just search job postings dance. And there was a ton that came up. So I actually found one, and it's in Edmond. And I would get paid more if I taught here. So maybe it's real life.
There you go.
Maybe this assignment's for a reason.
Yeah. It's only a couple dollars, but still.
Hey, a couple dollars adds up.
Yeah, exactly.
Do the rest of you all have like summer jobs you want to do, or things you're working now, or like passions or anything? You guys like have an idea of what you might do?
I think for mine, I'm actually going to, not for the summer, I have jobs this summer, but for like next semester, I'm trying to find a job that has to do more with nursing. So I might kind of explore that and see what I can find.
Yeah. I feel like that'll be easy to just like Google search.
There should be a lot of stuff out there. I think I'll probably look at scholarships, just because like I'm in high school, and so like that's what I'm doing with my time now, is looking for scholarships. Yeah, I'll probably go to school in like Washington, D.C., and so I'll look up like scholarships for the different schools around there and figure out exactly what that looks like. But I might do a job too, because like I'm gonna get a summer job, and I applied to be like a waiter at this place, and they didn't call me back. And I called them, and I was like, hey, like, are you still hiring? They're like, yes, we're hiring. We really need people. We'll call you tomorrow. And it's been like 3 days, and I'm like, okay. Anyway, so I might look for jobs too if that one doesn't pan out. But anyway.
So typically with restaurants, I've worked in them for a very long time. If you go in Monday through Friday between 2 and 4, they will interview you on the spot. If you let them know you've already applied online, you've called, you know they're still looking, and then they kind of can't turn you down in a way.
Exactly. So I had a full interview. Like they interviewed me, and like, okay, you're hired. We'll get you on the schedule. Here's your number. Like, we'll call you. And then it's been a month, and I'm like, that's why I called me, because like I have been hired, but
So
I
it
think it's
almost
just
makes
the way.
you like question like if you want to work for that place.
Well, see, I thought that, but then in mind, I was like, if they're this like disorganized, it might be kind of like easy to work there. It's just like, well, you know, whatever. That would be kind of nice. So we'll see. If not, it would probably be good to work at a place that's a little more structured. But I think it'd be kind of fun to watch the chaos, which I can tell is happening there. So, yeah.
That's funny.
With the job posting, I found it like, I wasn't expecting it to be like kind of this easy, but it's literally like Dance instructors teach children in a high energy, encouraging, and loving way. They'll follow lessons plans, playlists, and curriculum provided by such and such. And I wasn't expecting it to be like so laid out like that, but it really is like highly organized. So it'll be easy to kind of analyze and make bullet points for this one. And then
It
come
kind
up
of
with-
almost has the bullet points done for you.
exactly. It's like job overview and it's just in sentence form. So yeah,